Miss Williams to serve.
Time for the battle to
Ready.
commence. Venus Williams to begin.
Play.
Guy, you've got the Hawkeye at the first sit down. Got it.
15.
James, how are you? Yes, please. I'm watching, yeah. Where's that graphic of the actual serve? Like you had that one graphic of first serve, like in a box.
Stun. 9-5, can we get that?
And we're just underway with Venus taking the opening point courtesy of a missed second serve return. It's going to be one of the crucial battlegrounds today between these two
15.
great servers out here. Kvitova, who has won 77% of her opponent's second serve points in this tournament, second best so far. She's so aggressive on it.
Split. First serve.
And already on that opening point, she went right after Venus's second serve. What was that box with the first serve like that? Had like a fastest serve box. It was like a black box.
15, 30.
Okay. Just second serves. Not the first serve.
Very old.
Good sign for Venus to get that first serve up to 118 miles per hour.
That's just what the first serve speed was on that box.
Thirty, 40.
Already Kvitova making inroads into the American serve.
There's a couple of things that I look for from Venus to see whether she's confident, is whether she's going up and out on her serve and hitting it with conviction, or frequently she'll lean to her left and come down too quickly.
That's average.
And whether she's striking that second serve with
Yes.
authority or just spinning it in, and also whether she's stepping in on her forehand. If she's leaning back a bit and a little hesitant on that wing, you know she's not full of confidence.
Advantage. Miss Williams.
76-mile-an-hour second serve that Kvitova was looking at a lean on. It's one of the big differences between Venus in 2014 2008. We're going to take a closer look at her serve at the first sit down. Just how much it has changed.
Game, Miss Williams.
And a game that really sums up both ladies perfectly well.
First game.
Grit, determination from the American, and that sort of undulating performance then that Kvitova can put in.
Yeah, she can put in a tremendous amount of winners where she kind of bullies her opponent around and is in control of the points with depth and power from both wings. And then Kvitova, just in the flick of an eye, can just all of a sudden start spraying balls,
Miss
particularly,
Kvitova.
excuse me, on that forehand side. Make a whole string of errors.
Love 50.
Aggressive position as ever from Venus on the return, inside the baseline for that first serve. What a point. Both ladies straight into their stride.
15.
I thought this was a tremendous approach from Venus. She got up to it so quickly and hit it on the rise. But great anticipation and execution from Kvitova. That serve is undefendable. It's so short in the box. That's the advantage the lefty has. A little spin, that slice that moves away from the two-hander.
Forty, 30. Game is Kvitova.
She does pose unique problems being a lefty, Kvitova.
One game
Although
all first set.
Venus has a pretty good record against left-handers at Grand Slams. 127, lost 4. Has lost the last couple that she's played against. Makarova at the Australian earlier this year and back in 2012 against Kerber. Prior to that, she'd been on a nice little streak of 19 consecutive victories, the American. Tough to actually get it out of her hitting zone on the return when you're as tall as Venus as well.
Yeah, her range, spectacular.
15 love.
And that's really what set Venus and Serena apart when they changed the women's game. Their ability to move and from a defensive position to be able to hit an offensive shot.
Massive. She's so dangerous, Kvitova.
15.
She has such tremendous racket head speed. Kvitova needs to make sure that she gets a little bit of topspin for safety.
30-15.
Only place you could return that from was the first row. You need to buy a ticket to return that serve.
That's right.
That was unbelievable.
But if I'm Kvitova, I move one step to my right because Venus has a tendency to slice around the outside of the ball. The right side loves to go to the lefties. It would be a backhand. The righty's forehand. That's just her go-to serve.
Hard C15.
She's got that one as well, though.
It would appear so.
But she's not as comfortable with that serve as carving around it.
19th ace of the tournament.
Okay, Miss Williams.
All wayward from Kvitova, but steady from Venus.
Miss Williams leads 2-1 first set.
And solid on serve so far. I said we'd take a closer look at Venus's serving profile at this year's championships compared to when she won back in 2008. Some marked differences, particularly on the second serve. And if you look at where she's been hitting this serve, it's very middle of the box. Yes, there's one occasional one that's a little bit wide, but as Tracy said, it's sort of sliced in there. But look at the difference down there. 91 mile an hour second serve to 74. And if you look at the height difference, actually hurts her. I think she's 6'1" up against Sibylkova, who is 1.6 meters high. If you look at the difference here, it's coming through. It's actually coming through because of her height, Venus, at a levelly, comfortable height for a returner to hit. And Kvitova is such a dangerous returner of the ball, such an aggressive returner of the ball. You can see here, this is Kvitova in the tournament where she's been taking that serve on inside the baseline. So that
quickly,
difference
please.
in coming up above the height of the net does give Kvitova an opportunity, you feel, as this match progresses, Tracy, to take that ball on.
Yeah, she's going to have plenty of time if Venus keeps hitting that slow
Time.
on the second serve. And Kvitova is so lethal when she has time to set up and get on balance. And it seems to me that Venus today realizes that, and she's taking bigger cuts at that second serve because of the respect she has for the Kvitova return. Smart serve from Kvitova, the body serve right at the right hip.
Had to pull out of her match just before she played Heather Watson down in Eastbourne. That was in the quarterfinals. It's saying that her leg is feeling 100% pain-free, but obviously you can see the strapping on it just as a bit of precaution. It's not a bad second serve against somebody that's 6'1".
And she had the leg strapped in both matches, her first and second round match in Eastbourne, before she eventually had to pull out before the quarters.
That's E15.
Posing figure of Venus Williams down the other end. It can contribute to a few double faults in a match. Second one for Kvitova. There's not going to be too much retreating today, Tracy.
30.
No, and Kvitova, not much of a shot tolerance so far in this match. Just 2 or 3 shots, and then she pulls the trigger very quickly.
It's also not a bad shot once you get the
14,
rally underway
13.
against Venus as well. Straight up the middle of the court.
Take away the angle from her.
Game is Kvitova.
Power on the serve, followed by the placement on the forehand.
2 games all, first set.
And from a neutral's perspective, the perfect start.
Yeah, and that's a combination that Kvitova will use frequently. That serve out wide in the ad court pulls her opponent out of the court, and she has the opening to hit the winner in. It's very effective for the lefty.
Looked at her second serve speed and placement from Venus. Also, her first serve speed has dropped dramatically since 2008. Averaged 116 back in 08 throughout that tournament. Here so far this year, she's at 102. There's a big difference in terms of the reaction time. It's not just about the number of aces you're going to secure with that sort of speed, but also the reaction time that Kvitova's going to have. It's going to be that far greater.
It's not just the aces, as you mentioned, but it's the unreturnables and the fact that Kvitova won't have as much time to hit a lethal return like she just did with that second serve sitting up at 85 miles per hour. It's all about robbing your opponent of time on every surface, but that's exaggerated on grass. Beautiful. One thing about both of these players is they know their way around the forecourt. Both excellent volleyers, and particularly Kvitova with the touch volleys.
$40-15.
It's going to be a bruising encounter, unquestionably, between these two. Both hungry for it.
Miss Williams leads 3-2 first set.
One of the things, Tracy, we talk a lot about on a grass court compared to hard and clay is just the ability to move on the court. Who would you say out of these two is the better mover?
Definitely Venus. Venus is quicker, has a quicker first step. That's something that Petra Kvitova has definitely worked on, her fitness and trying to be more explosive, but that's something her opponents tried to exploit. Venus's movement, I think that's her tremendous movement is one of the big reasons why she feels so comfortable on a grass court. She feels that she can play defense if she needs to, but most of the time wants to be offensive.
Well, the speed may not always be there for Kvitova, but the endurance is. She played a WTA leading 37 three-set matches last year with a very credible win-loss ratio as well. 25-1, 12 losses. Already played another 12. In fact, she's got the nickname, hasn't she, on tour now, where it's Petra in these sort of day and ages. They've changed the E to a 3.
Absolutely. And she gets asked about that almost every press conference because she's played so many three-setters.
There's definitely more than a chance that this one will go the distance as well, given their last couple of meetings. All on hard, those 4 previous meetings between these two.
All 4 going 3 sets. The last 2, 7-6 in the third. wins for Kvitova.
Let's first serve.
Yes.
15.
Oh, that is sweet. And that's why the body serve's a good one against Venus, because you put it
15, 30.
in either of those two sides where she can take a swing at it. She is lethal.
Yeah, right in the wheelhouse. She didn't take a big swing, just a short backswing, a shoulder turn, and pushed forward.
Carry on.
She made that look a lot easier than it actually was.
She had to really get the racket below the ball here and whip up. A lot of racket head speed and still control it.
Well, a slip from Venus. Nothing too dramatic in terms of the potential for
40,
injury,
30.
but it did produce the loss of the point for her.
Let's first serve.
Wow. That's as long as I've seen a second serve in years.
She thought about Hawkeye on the first one, but probably not so on the second.
Advantage.
Almost
Miss
too eager,
Kvitova.
wasn't she?
Yeah, both players really trying to play first strike tennis, going big and hard very quickly in the points. And I can almost understand that more from Kvitova, because she doesn't move as well, and it's hard for her to get behind in a point and recover.
Again, Miss Kvitova.
Oh, that was a test. And she came through it with an A grade.
3 games all, first set.
Doesn't matter if you won your last couple of meetings, when you're out on centre court against somebody that's won the title here 5 times, you're feeling pressure.
Yeah, tremendous amount of respect. Goes both ways, and both these players want to have a successful Wimbledon, because neither player have done well in the other 2 Grand Slams this year.
Let's first serve.
That is a beautiful shot, and a very difficult shot to hit. If she had sliced this deep, Kvitova would have been there, but she creates an extraordinary angle from a difficult position. Just talking the results of the other two slams. Venus lost in the first round of the Australia to Makarova, 6-4 in the third, and at the French to the second round to Schmiedlova, 6-4 in the third as well. And Kvitova, first round at the Australian to Kumkum, who I'd never heard of, 6-4 in the third. And Roland Garros, third round to Kuznetsova.
40 love.
I don't think anyone's going to surpass Petra Kvitova's record in slams so far this year. Good year to come in when the prize money's been increased. She's won one game in 3 slams. Tried to introduce a little subtlety in proceedings from her side of the court. Kvitova.
Miss Williams leads 4 games to 3, first set.
Wasn't to be all too deep, and Williams mops up that game. She's saying here in London how much she loves her art. She's not necessarily so much into painting, she says. She prefers the history of cities, like the Museum of London. Says her favourite artist, though, of the moment is Picasso, and although he wasn't part of the Renaissance era, it has to be said, she herself is currently having one. Do you feel as though she's capable of not just getting past Kvitova today, but has she got enough energy in the tank to make a serious run for the title here if she could come through?
Gosh, I think it would be difficult at this stage at 34. Just and the Sjogren syndrome that she has. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past Venus. She certainly has the weapons to be a contender here, but she has not had the results. She hasn't won a Grand Slam since 2008. She just hasn't had the consistently winning results. She won a title in Dubai earlier this year, beating Cornet in the finals, who had beaten Serena in the semifinals. So that was good for her confidence.
Certainly seems to be hitting the ball as clean as she needs to win this particular match out here. Kvitova needs to be wary. She has the new balls.
15.
Kvitova just has so little margin in her game on her ground strokes. It's game plan A, and that's about it. There's not the subtlety of adding a little more spin if she's not feeling in the groove that day.
Nice blend of tennis there. Bit of defense, good scramble, and then the offensive forehand.
We don't see that often from Kvitova, so I liked it on the defense. She got some height on the ball, some trajectory and shape to get that ball back in the middle of the court.
$15. 40, 15.
One of her great strengths is the unpredictable nature of her tennis. Tough to get a rhythm against.
Yes.
Oh,
Game is
what
Kvitova.
an end to the game. Majestic backhand.
4 games all, first set.
Players usually have to respond to Kvitova's game because she hits with so much power and so close to the lines. But they also know that they need to try to weather the storm because there might be errors right around that corner.
Just didn't give herself enough room. She herself was tucked up that time.
And therefore, when she doesn't have enough room, I'd like to see her take a shorter backswing and just get the ball in play in the middle, not take a big swing and so much risk. The subtle adjustments.
That's yellow.
That's why I said the previous one that she made in that sort of position looked very easy, but she made it look easy because it was pretty tough, as that one proved to be.
That's 15. Forty, 15.
Just so unpredictable. A forehand from the middle of the court where she's on balance, set up and misses that one. And yet she can be on the full stretch and hit a clean winner.
Excellent
Game
length
is
from
Williams.
Venus. Keeping Kvitova back 5-4. Williams.
Miss Williams leads 5 games to 4, first set.
Yep. Well, she has offered up the one break point with this serve. Talk me through this, Tracy.
Her arms don't go up together, but I like how she brings the right foot forward, but the right foot actually goes past the left foot, so her body is facing forward too much. Then the head comes down a little too quickly, in my opinion, leaning down to the left. But she's still, if she can extend herself up and out, it's still a very successful serve. But when she struggles is when she starts to lean to the left too quickly.
Meditation. She knows what she would love to see in her future, and that's a break of serve. Yet to get a break point chance. That lady's rock solid on serve.
love 15.
That is some clean ball striking from Venus, and she is eating up the power that's coming at her from Kvitova. Early take back and driving through it. And low center of her gravity, getting her knees down as well. Excellent from Venus.
Didn't
seem like that bad a return. Got dealt with emphatically.
And so early, stepping inside the baseline, no way to react.
That's 15.
Just said how well she stayed down on that first point, but not quite so well on the third point.
Sometimes you just scratch your head with Kvitova because she can play such brilliant shots. And she could send one 8 feet long.
Game is good.
Levels things up, dropping just
5 games off first.
1 point on serve. Venus with a look up to the chair umpire there to see whether that first serve was in. Little nod, confirm that the umpire felt it was.
Such an imposing figure at the net. 6 feet tall, moves forward into this volley. Great balance.
Photo finish. Held it for the cameras.
30 love.
Just off the fastest serve of the tournament at 118.
Fall to love. Yeah, Miss Williams.
Wow.
Miss Williams leads 6 games to 5 first set.
Well, you can't finish a game any better than that. She's got the sanctuary of the tiebreak looming, even if she can't find a breaker serve. Would you, if you were coaching either of these two ladies and the serve has been so dominant early on, would you wait to see who won the first set before you start making adjustments, or even at this stage would you be looking to try and do something different? Has it been long enough for you to try and feel as though I'm not getting enough rackets on the ball, getting the ball back into play? How would you see it?
No, I would keep playing the same, and I've been completely impressed with the way that Venus, in my opinion, has raised the level from the second round when she beat Kurumi Nara to the third round, and she's definitely having that champion mentality, that she's elevated her game. She's realized that she needed to have more on her serve, so she's taking bigger risks, particularly on her second serve,
Time.
hitting it with more power. And on her ground stroke, she is just letting it rip. I have not seen Venus hit this well in a while, where she's just hitting with so much conviction and confidence.
That would be music to her ears if she could hear it at this stage. Very enjoyable opening set. Will it be decided on a tiebreak, or can Venus break?
Love 50.
Just feel with Kvitova, her footwork not quite as precise as it should be, maybe loses half a step at times. Contributes to the unforced error. Magnificent.
Tremendous depth, pushing Kvitova back, which is tough to do.
Love 13. Love 40.
It's gone long, and this set may not go on much longer.
Just incredible variety from Venus. The onslaught of the power, and then some nice slices to change pace.
3 set points for the American. And it's her set, a break to love. She leads by a set to love. And her box love it.
Those returns of serve that game were extremely impressive. The serves had plenty of penetration, and Venus got them back deep within a couple of feet of the baseline. And when you're pushing Kvitova back on that second shot of the point, you know you're in a good position. Williams would love to get more first serves in, but Kvitova not taking enough when she has a second serve.
I would say that she would like to get more first serves in, but she doesn't want to do it by sort of compromising that percentage of first serve points won, because that is magnificent, isn't it?
It is, and the unforced errors from Petra Kvitova definitely need to go down, where she has more winners as well, but too many shots that were sprayed. But I'd say that whole set was, you could almost throw those stats down, and it's just based on that last return game for Venus, where she broke Kvitova at love because she was standing inside the baseline, hitting returns on the rise. Just tremendous eye-hand coordination to pick it up so quickly.
Well, the contrast for Kvitova, that's something she's got to manage as well. We talked earlier about how she's been dominating her opponent's second serves, and yet has barely been able to make any impact on Venus's second serve when it's gone in. "34 years of age, 7 Grand Slam titles, 13 Grand Slam doubles titles," and just look
Second
at that.
set.
Looks like she's just walked onto tour for the first time.
Miss
like a sprinter.
Williams, 50-11.
The success that Venus has had hasn't diminished the desire.
In fact, Venus was asked about that. You know, you've won 5 Wimbledons, 2 U.S. Opens, all the gold medals that you have at the Olympics. And she said, I'm not about the easy thing. Life is a challenge, and I want to leave tennis on my own terms without regrets. She still feels like she can compete at the highest level.
$15-13. Video.
Little change of pace there. Only 98 miles per hour. Kvitova misjudged it, hit it too early. Did not move up to that.
40-13.
It's the one thing you see in Kvitova's game is that one extra step going forward. I mean, she sometimes waits for the ball and you feel, or even just starts reaching for it.
And you mentioned the better footwork, and yet you see her before every match with her coach, you know, doing footwork drills for 15 minutes to warm up. Just doesn't come easily for her.
Yes.
A little bit of a freebie there from Venus. She wants to maintain this high level.
Oh. Linesman wore that one. A little Slazenger bruise coming up later.
He can take it, it looks like.
Advantage, Miss Williams.
That one came back with a bow on it from Kvitova. That is a real gift at this stage when you're looking to try and get into the match here early on in the second set.
Yeah, Miss Williams.
Awkward opening hold.
First game, second set.
But a hold it is. And she has a stranglehold over Kvitova out here at the moment. And it was interesting to watch Rafa yesterday in his match against Rosso and how he changed up his returning position. Do you feel there's room for Kvitova to drop back a little bit against Venus, or does it open up the angles for the tall American and therefore make it potentially easier for her to hold serve?
I don't think Kvitova will do that because she likes to return kind of well out in front and go for her shots.
But Rafa likes to return deep, but he still made the adjustment.
Rafa's the ultimate champion, the ultimate warrior. We don't see Kvitova making too many adjustments to her game. That's probably one of her biggest flaws.
$15-11.
In fact, in my opinion, after she won Wimbledon here in 2011, I think me and along a bunch of other people thought that she would dominate in 2012 after she was so successful in winning a bunch of tournaments that year. She didn't handle the pressure, the expectations well.
Kvitova on the call on the left fast line, the ball's called out.
Kvitova struggled to get her game back to that same potential in the way that she played in beating Maria Sharapova in the final.
Both are returns. 30 love.
That to me is a perfect example there of the subtlety where you have to make an adjustment. That ball's coming hard and fast. Excellent return from Venus, and she needed to shorten her backswing and not take such a big swing and not hit with so much power.
Already a fairly perilous situation developing here early on in the second set for Kvitova.
Not
by much, but enough.
One game all. Second set.
Well, she's nervous. She certainly didn't show it on that final point. That was a big second serve and a crushing forehand. She's really playing well.
Mark, I often wonder about how much these players know about their draw. Obviously, you need to worry about just what's in front of you, this match. But in the back of your head, if they do know which half they're on and who's in their half, it'd be interesting, their thought process. That's a monstrous serve up to 117. Because the two big seeds are out of this half. Victoria Azarenka was the 8th seed. She lost in the second round, and Li Na lost earlier today. Radvanska's the other big seed, the number 4 seed in this section. But the bottom half was always weaker than the top anyway.
40 love.
Stubbornness can be a great asset, but it also can be a little bit of a weakness.
Attack the second serve much more effectively there.
Very good.
These balls are so hard and so flat, and to redirect the ball coming cross court and up the line like Kvitova just did, So tough.
Game is Williams. Miss Williams leads 2-1 second set and by 1 set to love.
Well, credit to Venus. She's been under a little bit of pressure on serve in this second set, but she's actually upped her first serves going in as well. She's responded to the challenge from Kvitova. You have to question how easy it is for somebody to return as aggressively as Kvitova is trying to do against this monstrous serving from Venus. As we take a look outside, and well, they've had a much more enjoyable day than we were led to believe was going to be the case. The umbrella on your right ear picture, you thought that was going to be utilised a little bit more than it has been. Thankfully not so. Let's hope it stays that way, not just for the tennis players but also the spectators. You've got your cricket knowledge, haven't you? Huh?
Time.
You had your Jeffrey boycott the other day.
That's right.
It's Mike Gatting. I could have let you get away with it. They'll probably be taking over that soon, won't they? The Americans, now they're dominating in soccer.
Dominated? I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Did they grasp the concept of losing and still going through? That's got to be alien to the American way of life.
However you need to get it done.
Taylor.
No compromise, Kvitova.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I think that she could make an adjustment. To me, she has good enough hands. She has the soft hands because we see that at the net with her drop volleys. So I'd love to see Kvitova be able to employ that a little more on her ground strokes. When everything's not clicking on a particular day, to be able to use and roll over the ball a little more with topspin, maybe to create some angles, and then when she felt like she got her confidence back, then could push the pedal to the metal again.
Oh. I think that might well be the immaculate backhand. Was that in the corner of the corner?
We saw a lot of that in 2011. It's just so tough to defend.
Six titles in 2011. Wimbledon and the year-end champs for Kvitova.
And on all different surfaces.
Game is Kvitova. New balls, please. 2-2, second set.
Change of racket coming up here.
Mark, we were just talking about how these players might be feeling like the bottom half of the draw is opening up. I think Kvitova realized that she might have missed a big opportunity last year at Wimbledon. Lost in the quarterfinals to Kirsten Flipkens, who didn't have nearly as much as experience, had never been to a quarterfinal of a Grand Slam at that point, and Kvitova the only champion left in the draw at that stage. Lost to her 6-4 in the third.
50 love.
I mean, apart from the fact of getting the ball back into play with a sort of block to make sure that she gets herself involved in a few more points than she currently is, Kvitova has the added benefit with a block or a slice that it's going to come through at a more awkward height. I mean, that return that she's made there is just sitting up so invitingly for Venus.
Dirty love.
Quite put the finishing touches on a wonderful point. The opening was there.
That's a shot where I'd love to see her give herself more margin for error. Aim 4 or 5 feet in. And if she doesn't get the winner on that shot, then she certainly might on the next. Look for combinations.
That's a 15.
Venus has been serving, in my opinion, so well today that you really do notice when that second serve sits up. I'm also impressed how Venus has moved her serve around more than she normally does.
Sticking with the policy, you feel that her best tennis in her mind is better than Venus's best tennis and keeps going after it.
What
a response.
There's tremendous movement and swing out wide.
Just the one more point she faced in her opening service game of the match.
Venus Williams leads 3 games to 2, second set, and by 1 set to love.
Subsequently, and well, she has defended her serve especially well. Venus just kept Kvitova on her toes. Not quite sure where the ball's going to go here, Tracy.
And this is a spectacular adjustment from Venus Williams, who usually tends to serve out to a righty. So in this case, it would be a lefty's backhand. So it would be out in the wide position here, the 24%. But she's switched it up. It's gone more often towards the center. And she usually likes the center on this ad court as well.
She's taken herself out of the comfort zone in terms of where she likes to serve.
Really played a terrific match, and the way that she played Nara in the second round to the way she's played today, boy, she's gone up a couple of levels. She knows that she just had no choice, and she's been able to elevate, which is really such a tremendous sign of a champion.
Doesn't always happen, but the threat's always there that great champions in draws, even when they're moving through them, that don't play particularly well, they stutter a bit, but while they're still in it, there's a chance their best tennis is going to appear, and it certainly seems to have been that way for Venus so far today. They're the sort of mistakes that I'm sure her coach gets very disappointed with, because she couldn't have hit a winner from there. So all she's trying to do is put the ball back to her length and stop Venus from attacking.
Absolutely. David Kotiza, longtime coach of Petra Kvitova. David Kotiza would have a tremendous amount of patience,
13.
because the highs are so high with Kvitova and the lows can be so difficult to watch. Such extreme hot and cold and during matches.
(15-13).
Little opening here for Venus, so pressure on Kvitova.
Prisväärtsyshävde kolme left vasen Voskalen.
Such a big point. It's worth a challenge. All it does is endorse just how great a serve that was. Some rally, one of the biggest points of the match.
40-30.
And Kvitova played it safer for most of the points. The shots were down the middle until this one absolutely knocked Venus over. That is vicious shot making from both players.
It's a pretty vicious come on from Kvitova as well.
Game is Kvitova.
You can win Wimbledon titles hitting balls like that.
3 games all, second set.
In the back of my head, I just wonder if Venus can sustain this level because of the illness that she has. Will she get fatigued?
Well, the romantic in you would love to see a deep run from the 34-year-old, wouldn't it?
Be quite a story, like Jimmy Connors at the U.S. Open a few years back, 1991. Got to the semifinals as a 39-year-old.
Too low.
Well, Venus, who has broken down a few barriers in her time, is hoping that age is also not a barrier in her quest to be competitive here. She's hit that serve
40,
sparingly, but she's hit it so well when she's hit it that Kvitova has to guard against it. And therefore it's opened a little bit of space, as you were illustrating in the last sit down, for that serve down the center, which has proved so profitable for Venus.
Game is Williams.
The scoreboard rolling along and Venus rolling back the years. 4-3, second set.
Miss Williams leads 4 games to 3, second set, and by 1 set to love.
This has been tight all the way through. There's never been any sort of moment in this match where you feel as though either maybe can just relax for a moment, a bit of breathing space. It's felt constricted all the way through.
Time.
So Kvitova serving a 3-4, second set. Down a set, of course. More promising start than she had in her previous service game, where she had to dig herself out with some excellent play from love 30 down.
Two terrific serves from Kvitova. You know, she must feel like she has her back against the wall.
Did you get that? The guy took it out of my hand. Much still to enjoy on centre court today, and perhaps this one will be extended as well, because this has been a very dominant service game from Petra Kvitova. 40 love up. Venus hasn't had a look in.
Game is Kvitova. Four games all, second set.
Test of both ladies' temperament coming up once again as we get to the business end of this second set.
It's really been about such big serving today. They both faced one break point. Venus was able to convert. Kvitova was not. Not much between them.
Taylor.
Truly wonderful.
So beautiful to watch when she makes that 100% commitment to stay down and go after that forehand.
Again, it just, the pendulum keeps swinging one way then the other. It's just stayed marginally on Venus's side throughout the course of this match.
Kvitova did not take advantage of that 83-mile-an-hour second serve. She didn't even hit it cleanly.
How many times today has she come up with a big serve and a big point?
40-30.
A bit of a not just threatening in terms of her court position there, but in terms of the score as well, but thwarted once again in her ambitions.
Kvitova actually took a little off that return, and then that last forehand as well before the winning backhand. She got down low and didn't try to hit it so hard, just got it back deep.
Let's first serve.
That serve down the tee has just been extraordinary today.
Advantage, Miss Williams.
She stayed up on her serve better than I have seen her in a long time. Really gone up and out after it.
David Witt in the back of your picture there, her coach out of his chair very quickly.
Miss Williams leads 5 games to 4 second set and by 1 set to love.
He doesn't face the agony of a final set, something that Kvitova has proved to be very adept at over the last couple of years. But he must be very proud with how Venus has managed to put her finest tennis on this centre court today, Tracy.
Very much so. He was a former pro, so he knows what this pressure is all about, and he's been with Venus for so many years now, 7-8 years, so he's been with her for the highs and the lows through so many losses when Venus couldn't figure out why she wasn't feeling up to snuff, why she was so tired, and finally the diagnosis of Sjogren's syndrome in 2011, told everybody at the US Open, took some time off right after that, but he's been by her side all the way.
Time.
As ever, stoically has faced adversity face on Venus and has come out, it seems at the moment, on top of it, certainly managing it far better than perhaps people expected when she first announced it. It's been a remarkable story, the Serena and Venus show over the years, and I'm sure there's a couple more chapters to write.
Lock it in.
Perhaps starting at this year's Wimbledon. Terrific beginning to the game from Venus.
These are like body blows. It's like a heavyweight fight.
That's it.
Just the same way that Venus has responded to any threat on serve with fine first serves, so has Kvitova in this second set.
Credit to Kvitova. Huge couple of serves, and she's always playing behind in the scoreline.
Game is Kvitova.
The magnitude of the moment wasn't lost on the crowd at 15:30.
5 games all. Second set.
Just a couple of points away from victory for Venus, but thwarted. Can Kvitova carry that momentum into this returning game? Sparse to say the least in terms of breakpoint opportunities for either lady.
That's just great athleticism there from Venus. At one stage, ball hit the net and she had to stop and adjust and still hit such an effective shot.
She doesn't want to change in terms of the returning profile that she's come out with today, Kvitova. I do feel as though she missed a little bit of a trick in that opening point of not coming in and just giving Venus something different to look at. We expected a little more of that from Kvitova.
30-15.
But it's not too late.
Forty, 15.
116.
6-5, second set, and by 1 set to love.
Just keep admiring everything that she's doing out here. This couldn't have been any more of a greater test of Venus Williams' competitive spirit, but also her ability to play her best tennis under pressure.
And the drama of it all. Just to start with 2 former champions in the 3rd round. There were only 4 champions at the beginning of the tournament. All 4 still in. Serena, Maria, Venus, and Petra. So to have a 3rd round encounter, it's mouth-watering. And it's lived up to its billing.
Doesn't feel as though there's any way you can predict what's going to happen in the next precious 5 to 10 minutes. It felt as though the opening set was going to go to a tie-break, but it wasn't to be. Broken to love Kvitova at that particular stage at 6-5. She'll be hoping a similar fate doesn't befall her here. Otherwise, her dreams of winning a 2nd Wimbledon title are over.
Taylor.
And all 4 of the previous encounters between these ladies went to 3 sets, so we expected it to be close, but none of them had the weight of Wimbledon. Playing on their favorite surface.
That's 15.
Interesting, those last 2 errors from Venus came off shots from Kvitova that weren't hit with quite as much authority.
Game is Kvitova. 6-all, second set, tiebreak. Both players received 1 additional challenge.
So my point to that is Kvitova might want to think about a little bit of a mixture of paces once in a while.
On both of the breakers that they've played against each other in the past, they though came in the final set. Kvitova has a 7-3 win-loss record on the season. Venus has just played 4 tiebreaks this year. 2 won, 2 lost. Oh. Power and angle.
1-0. Miss Kvitova.
That's absolutely right in front of our commentary box, and I don't know how she created such an acute angle.
Needed to be that good because Venus was lurking around in the forehand corner as well.
2-0, Miss Kvitova.
Promising start for Kvitova's survival here.
Miss Kvitova. Miss Kvitova. Miss Kvitova.
Just showed the first signs there, Kvitova, of entertaining the idea of taking a little bit of pace off the ball.
A little more roll on that last forehand.
To Miss Kvitova.
Well, that's certainly going to aid Venus's chances of rescuing this dire situation in the tiebreak.
She hit that so early. Just phenomenal. And at
This time of day, Kvitova won't be all that happy to see the sun out. Actually, as a left-hander down there. Could be a little awkward with the ball toss.
To Miss Kvitova.
That ball didn't
Miss
come
Kvitova.
up. Venus needed one more step.
This, however, will be a big step for Kvitova if she can take one of the next 4 points. They're set points.
Given 7 sets.
Really a disappointing way for
1-0.
Venus to drop
please.
the second set, but still, it's been so watchable, this contest between two great champions. We're a set apiece after just over an hour and a half. virtually nothing between them. And you can see there just maybe just the odd winner or two from Kvitova, but perhaps more importantly, Tracy, just her willingness to find a way to get a ball back into court in that tiebreaker that got the unforced error from Venus.
Now, credit to Kvitova for just adjusting, taking some pace off, and ensure to get more balls back in play.
We don't want to go anywhere else, and neither, it would seem, did Petra Kvitova in that second set. She's here to stay. Clinging on at times in that second set, but dug deep. Not something that perhaps has always been synonymous with her performances over the years.
And credit to Kvitova, because she had been making too many unforced errors, and in awkward positions she had been unwilling to take some pace off and just ensure that getting that ball back in play and trying to get the point back to neutral. And she finally made that adjustment.
Miss Kvitova to serve.
It's very important here for Venus to reset. And the champion that she is, she should have good amnesia at this point, where she forgets about that loss of the second set, because she would, a couple of times, was 2 points away.
Dirty low. Low.
And a big change here for Kvitova to be serving first in a set. Last two sets, she's always been playing from behind in the score.
(40-15). Game is Kvitova.
Ideal start to this final set.
First game, final set.
This match is difficult to predict as the weather was today, clearly, in terms of what was going to happen. Supposed to be a downpour, but thankfully it stayed away. But Kvitova trying to stay away from Venus's clutches here, and just about managing to do so. In a match that's been this tight, very difficult to pinpoint anything that will be, you know, singly the most important thing here in the final set, isn't it, Tracy?
It is. The margins are so small. They've both only faced one break point.
Still got a bit of power in that shoulder. That would have been the fastest serve of the tournament for Venus had it hit the target.
That slice from Kvitova on the full stretch we hadn't seen much of for the first set and 3/4, but she's starting to realize that she doesn't need to go full tilt when she's not in position.
15.
It's a smart shot against Kvitova. It does sometimes like to just try and sort of shrink the space to one side that she sees as wide open. Back behind her does seem to be profitable at times.
That's 15.
So such width to attack Kvitova, particularly off that backhand side as well.
And that's what we mentioned at the beginning of the match, Mark, that was going to be critical for Kvitova to try to attack Williams' second serve. Venus continues to mix up her serve nicely, changing her spots, keeping Kvitova guessing.
She does produce some absolutely gorgeous shots on the run, Kvitova.
Yes.
This is what you want. I don't often have it these days at the Grand Slams with the 32 seeds, but just to get a clash like this, the clash of the Titans out here, both producing their best tennis on big points. This is where Venus is trying to keep at bay that third opponent that appears in tennis matches. It's called momentum, and it's in danger of appearing on Kvitova's side.
Venus needs to keep that first service percentage up and keep going after her second if she has to hit one.
Le call on the left pass line of Oscar out.
Predominantly goes cross court with that backhand return, and Venus is able to defend it effectively because she's able to anticipate it. I do wonder whether Kvitova missed a bit of a trick there to maybe didn't even have to go full-blooded up the line, but just the change of direction may have produced the result she wanted. Tried it on the second shot, missed the intended target.
Venus just said it didn't go up, didn't push with her legs. That last serve.
Yes.
See how she fell to the left on that serve?
Miss Kvitova has 2 challenges remaining.
What she hasn't done at all today.
advantage, Miss Williams.
Now that's a shot where, in my opinion, when Kvitova's on the stretch like that, where she didn't have really that winner cross court available, just needed to get it in cross court 3 or 4 feet inside the line.
Game is Williams.
Massive hold for the American.
Wang Imol, final set.
Not only in the score line, but mentally, you just felt like Venus was holding on with that double fault, and the technique started to falter on that second serve. That was crucial.
Love.
Sometimes you don't always see the gain so obviously when you push an opponent like that in terms of a returning game, even though she didn't get the desired result, but she may get a quick service game. Interesting to see how Venus is feeling. Didn't look like she could hook it back but from behind her cross court in the manner that she did.
Yeah, this is where Venus is spectacular, just so flexible when she's in such an awkward position. Terrific to square that racket up. Good feel.
Day 30.
That ball seemed to stop on both the serve and then Venus's return. Happens on the natural surface where you get an awkward bounce.
Very old.
That was a chance. She knew it.
Yeah, she does. Definitely more emotional in the last couple of games. First time we've seen her look up at her box a few times.
Understand why Kvitova goes about her business on a tennis court the way she does. She doesn't look as though she backs herself defensively to just sort of chisel balls out from behind the baseline and put them in awkward positions.
What a response, that last point from Venus.
Pressure was good.
Well, it looked a little long, I've got to be honest.
First serve.
Has decided that the call was quick enough to put Venus off on terms of the return, so this is going to be a first serve for Kvitova. Mild protest. Venus is going to be somewhat disappointed when she watches a replay of this match. Well, if she wins it, she might not watch it if she loses it, but that serve was actually out. Had she challenged it, she would have had a second serve.
Game is good off.
And in a match in precious few chances, those are the opportunities.
6-1 Falset.
We just assume they just picked up on us. Those are the opportunities and margins that can decide them at the end of the day. And well, I'm sitting here, and I was a lot further away, a good 10 meters from where that ball landed, and felt that it was a little long behind the service line. But Venus not electing to use Hawkeye. Perhaps just dodged a little bit of a bullet there early on in this final set.
Seems to me Venus is always a little
Time.
reticent to challenge.
A tense start to a set, as they've all been so far in this fabulous contest. Venus has won. She's watched a fair bit of tennis over the years, hasn't she? There must be a
Oracene Price.
wealth of experience and knowledge there.
Yes. And Venus's sister just to the right of Oracene, Isha.
But Fifteen.
Challenge just, well, maybe not from the, she said something at the end of it.
15.
No, maybe she was already apologising, knowing where the ball was going.
Chair umpire put her finger out like she thought it was wide. That looked pretty close.
That was a little harder work than it needed to be for Venus, because her first
30,
serve
15.
did clip the outside edge of the line. As you say, Tracy, she does seem to be reticent to use the new technology.
Yeah, but most players ask the chair umpire, and that was right in front of the chair umpire's nose, and she put her finger out like it was wide. So a lot of times you'll hear from chair umpires, they'll say, "I'm not sure," and that gives you an indication maybe you want to challenge.
Tercio.
Perfect.
40-30.
Venus has been hitting the one up the tee so effectively all day long. The slice out wide is now really working, opening up the court.
Light. Serve. Light. Serve. Two games all, Fawcett.
Almost a couple of hours gone, as you can see from the scoreboard behind Venus Williams, and still nothing to choose between the two. Set all, 2-all.
Just the one break of serve in the entire match, and that was in the 12th game of the first set, where Venus broke Kvitova. Not many on the women's tour can hit a volley like that. And that's what we were all so impressed with when Kvitova won the championships in 2011, is her versatility and how many times she finished points off at the net with touch.
Very low.
Definitely many layers to Kvitova's game. Get the sense at times she doesn't allow herself to utilize all those layers as well. Just too many unforced errors, too much on approach shots, and yeah, as you say, just put the ball in court at times and then use her hands that she has. Oh, what imagination, vivid.
40-15.
It's one thing to have the imagination, it's another to execute. Very difficult to move forward, body weight moving quickly, and still the delicate touch.
Game is clear.
Standard serious game, there's been many of them, but in the final set, each one is important. 3-2, Kvitova.
Kvitova leads 3 games to 2, Fawcett.
We're still here at the English Riviera. We're not going anywhere. This is what happens in the UK when they tell you it's going to rain. It's a myth.
Yeah, I was wondering. We show blue skies after you say that, and I dressed for rain because the weather reports were for downpour today. Hardly
Time.
seen clouds in the sky.
Well, all the weather forecasters in the UK aren't putting invoices in for today. It was a myth. There is no rain in an English summer.
They got this one wrong today. No downpour. Just a downpour of power.
Venus packed her umbrella in anticipation of the rain, but she certainly packed her first serve for this encounter.
Venus seems to have packed her stamina as well. We were concerned about that. She's played 6 3-setters this year. She's at 50%.
See a shot like that on the previous point from Kvitova, and you feel like there's just no structure to a game. It's very, it's instinctive, it's great, it's creative, it's fun for us to watch, but you just wonder where the building blocks are at times.
The 4th double for Venus, and yeah, that's where I would, as her coach, I would take her back and watch films of her matches and say, see, this particular position, you didn't have time for that big of a backswing, and you couldn't afford to use that much pace. The risk is going to be too high and the reward too small. And you have to start duplicating that in practice and start to try to have that variety in those situations, the ability to pull back.
From coasting to potential crisis.
Bit of a down 40 love, plays 3 incredible points and then just a gift.
Try to add a bit of pace, he wasn't quick enough at 114. That's the other thing, Tracy.
3 games all, final set.
That strikes me about Kvitova, and you talk about perhaps she's underachieved before we came on and started this match, is that she never seems to play the scoreboard. She seems to just be very self-absorbed in a tennis match on her side of the court, never peering down the other end to wonder whether the opponent's feeling a bit of pressure. Put the ball in the court.
That's such a great point. Yeah, got to pay attention to your opponent, to the score line, to the tempo of the match.
This is why she does go for it, because when she connects like that, it's unstoppable. The despondency she felt after not capitalising on that comeback in the previous game to Deuce. Didn't last particularly long. Neither did that service game.
Actually, it's 4 games to 3, 12 set.
And she needs a lot of credit today, Kvitova, as well, although there are times where you feel as though perhaps she could do things marginally better. At the same time, her back has been firmly against the wall for the majority of this match, and, well, she's responded to the challenge immaculately so far.
Yeah, I think we got to give credit to both of these players for responding to this situation. To Wimbledon champions, and Kvitova has had such uneven results compared to her expectations in the last couple of years. And Venus has had uneven results because of her age, I would suspect, and also the illness. They've given us such a high level match, and very entertaining.
Let's not forget that there is still much to enjoy today, not just the weather, as these spectators have been fortunate to enjoy,
Time.
but also, of course, Andy Murray still to come here on centre court. At what time? I'm not yet sure. That will be decided on the outcome of this match. Venus serving a 3-4 final set. Both women have been so durable, so resilient.
This match could be far from over, but I think it's worth mentioning who the winner of this would have to play. Peng Shuai, who beat Lauren Davis in 3 sets earlier today. And then the winner of that match would play Wozniacki and Zalivova-Stritsova. That would be a quarterfinal to get to the semis. Another forehand miss from Venus when she has to create the pace. The ball was much shorter, didn't have as much penetration through the court. That serve only 79 miles per hour, but it was like a screwball. It had so much spin and got away from Kvitova.
Ball game's all foul set.
And it's been tense all the way, it has to be said, for the 2 hours and 13 minutes that these two former champions have been on court.
Out.
It's been
Expeditors showed the call on the right baseline and balls clouds.
relentless.
Stands
It's
lucky.
been such an absorbing encounter. What guts, what determination on display from Venus Williams.
Lot 30. Miss Kvitova has one challenge remaining. Let's it. That's it. Fifteen, 30.
The response by both women to challenges in their service games has been quite remarkable. She had the wherewithal, the composure, just to roll that into the space. And there must have been a huge temptation to hit that as hard as she could have done.
What an adjustment with her hands, because that ball did not come through the court and she had to really reach for it and still be accurate.
With a left 30 down, 4-all in the final set. That is the tennis equivalent of walking the tightrope. And she got to the other side. Safety for the moment while she changes end.
And that's what this match feels like. It just feels like there's no room to breathe, and there hasn't been since the first point. And so many times in tennis we've had such huge expectations and a lot of talk about an upcoming match, and it hasn't lived up to the expectations, but this match certainly has, and possibly has even exceeded it.
Tennis players, Tracy, travel with that suitcase of memories at this stage. of a match when Kvitova's won their last couple of meetings, 7-6 in the final set. Tight encounter. Of course, we don't have a tiebreaker in the final set here at Wimbledon. Are those the sort of memories that you start drawing upon? Is that something that Venus potentially would be thinking about?
I think Kvitova can draw from that, but Venus
Time.
can draw from the fact that she's won this championships on this court 5 times. And she feels like this is her home.
No room to breathe, you said, in this match. That's how it's felt. No room for error now for Venus Williams, serving to stay in the match.
Let's go serve.
Just been so impressed
Taylor.
with both players. When any player felt like they've gotten a little bit of momentum, their opponent has responded and elevated.
Hello.
David Kotiza doesn't show much emotion.
It 30.
Might well do if this player can turn around the deficit she currently finds herself in this game. Because Venus might be on the brink in one more point.
First time
Yes.
Venus is let up on her first service pace. 89 miles per hour, not using her legs as well this game on the serve.
In some ways, arguably, that wasn't a bad attempt at the return and changing the direction. She's gone cross-court so many times. She was expecting Venus to pick it. She just couldn't find the court with a down-the-line shot.
Again, Miss Williams.
And it's a body shot that seals the game for Venus. Didn't hold back on that serve.
5 games all, foul set.
But we've talked about that from Kvitova. Sometimes the shot selection could be reviewed with her coach. Very critical, nervous situation. Give yourself more space. Even hit that return down the middle if you have to. Now both players have been within a couple of points a couple of times in winning this match. The momentum keeps changing.
Second double of the game.
Just the 5th of the match.
That's it.
That will calm a few nerves. Down the court and up there.
What a response after 2 doubles.
Sensational finish to the game for Kvitova.
Miss Kvitova, 6 games to 5, final set.
Well, you have to learn how to play through the pressure, because unquestionably she was feeling it in that particular game. And she did so emphatically in the end.
Both players have done a great job of resetting to the next point.
Did you always feel better serving first in the final set?
You know, with me, it really didn't matter. It was sometimes my return was better than my serve, but yeah, I think for the most part, I always liked to try to be ahead. I mean, I was expected to win my serve, and it was the era that I was playing. Most of the players were serve and volleyers, so they had very big serves and frequently hold most of the time. So I always liked to play from ahead. It felt much more comfortable.
It was such an appetizing day on centre court today when the order of play came out. It was a straight sets win for Djokovic early on, but this one has lived up to expectations.
Always nice when you're playing from behind to get that first point. In the first 2 sets, Kvitova was the one always serving behind in the score line.
to build on for Kvitova.
15.
Really animated today in a positive way.
Little opening here for Kvitova. Just 1 minute shy of 2.5 hours. Very physically demanding match.
She's been the queen of three-set matches in recent years, Petra Kvitova. This her 13th of the season. Will it prove to be a lucky one? She's got 2 match points. Two former queens of Wimbledon. There could only be one winner though. And ultimately it goes the way of the 2011 champion.
Wow, such a hard-fought match for 2.5 hours and only decided in the last 15 seconds. It was so close for all 2.5 hours. And that's going to be a tough pill to swallow for Venus Williams at 34 years old. Really played absolutely tremendous match, one of the best matches I've seen from her in a long time. Served very well, her energy looked good, powerful ground strokes, moved so well, but got to give so much credit to Kvitova, because for most of the match, because of the scoreline, and she was always serving second, she was behind. And her back was against the wall.
Tension was unrelenting throughout the 2.5-hour contest. Venus admirably waiting for her opponent. Great sportsmanship displayed by the 5-time champion here. A deserved standing ovation. It does leave you reflecting on how many more times we will see Venus grace this special court. And it will be sorely missed if we don't see it again. This lady didn't miss her chance when it presented itself.
Really, tennis was the winner here today as well, because this match was played at such a high level throughout the entire 3 sets. Really no lapses of concentration from either player. There wasn't room for that.
Just 2 breaks of serve, just 3 breakpoint opportunities throughout the contest. That has to be one of the lowest numbers, if not the lowest number of all time.
Venus Williams still in the doubles here with her sister Serena. They have won it 5 times in the past.
Well, undoubtedly she has the talent. She's won the title here before, but more importantly today, she showed that character that you need to go and win another one. It was a tough draw to have to get Venus in the 3rd round, but she survived. Fabulous contest. There it is, Kvitova coming from a set down to win the last 2 sets, and she's with Phil Jones.
Petra, congratulations, a wonderful performance, all the more so because you were playing catch-up throughout that match and had to live with so much pressure to come through.
It was definitely a very tough battle. I mean, I was preparing from yesterday for this, and I know that Venus can play unbelievable on the grass, what she did, and she was serving pretty well, and was only 2 breaks in the match. One, unfortunately, I lost my first set, and the second I break her for the final game. So I'm very just happy that I'm through, and I'm in the fourth round.
You're one of the few people on tour with a winning record against Venus, but your matches always go 3 sets. So how much was that part of what played into your comeback in that second and third set?
It is. I know that all matches what we play was 3 sets, I think. And when I lost the first, I was really sad and a little bit down mentally. But I knew that I can come back and I can win the second set. And of course, in the third, everything can happen without the tiebreak. It's very difficult to break her, but I totally knew, and I was just trying to push her. And I had many duels in the third set, and finally I did it.
You were very vocal out there today when you were hitting winning shots, and you were kind of geeing yourself up, fist pumping, shouting out. What did that do to spur you on?
Yeah, it was always when it's pretty close, the matches and everything. It's very sensitive on every point. I was really trying and fighting for every point, because I knew that if I want to break her, I have to win every point what I can play, and everything I have to push to the court. So I was trying to do it, and yeah, I mean, I was lucky just in the end.
Finally, let me ask you, you've been a champion here before. This kind of form you're showing now here again must give you great confidence going forward into week 2.
Definitely, I'm feeling well. I mean, I love to play on grass more in the Wimbledon, of course. I have great memories for 2011. And yeah, I'm pretty confident on the court, but every match when I'm playing here, it's very tough. It's a Grand Slam, and everyone is preparing well. So I need to be focused on every point.
Tremendous performance. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.